2023 was an explosive year for competitive boxing. With several high-octane fights lined up for 2024, let's check out all the ceaseless action we saw this year. From the power-packed Gervonta Tank Davis to the lightning-fast Naoya the Monster Inoue, this year was packed with iconic moments and highlights. Which fights were the most iconic from this year? And will we be seeing more of the same energy next year? Before we find the answers to those questions, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more boxing content. Now let's check out the top 3 matches in the past year and analyze the best moments from these fights. Number 3. Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. The start of the year saw the Canadian-born Russian Artur Beterbiev defend his perfect knockout record in his fight against Anthony Yarde in defense of the 3 world light heavyweight titles he has in the IBF, WBC, and WBO. Yarde would start to show signs of loss early on and would lose by KO in the 8th round. The first sign of this would appear when Beterbiev began advancing on Yarde and landing the first solid right hook to his face into round 2.
World title before, but he's been a better fighter since then. Developed a lot since the points defeat to Lyndon Arthur, but he can't get caught in a corner like that. This is when he's got to move out of that corner. Looking to fight fire with fire, both.
Into round 4, Yarde would try and respond to the onslaught of jabs and hooks thrown by cornering Beterbiev, but would end up receiving more than what he dished out.
He's hewn from granite. Very, very difficult to move.
Hard as nails, isn't he, the champion?
Great shot left up Anthony Yarde.
Better work from Yarde there.
Beterbiev would establish his dominance into round 5 by responding with a thunderous series of counterpunches in response to Yarde's advances in the last moments of the round.
Round of the fight. Beterbiev going backwards. Yarde stalking him, but he's got to be careful.
Yeah, just made the mistake there.
Uppercut from Beterbiev. What an uppercut. Yarde's hurt. Beterbiev.
Fatigue would take over Yarde in the 8th round, and Beterbiev would make use of the moment to deliver 2 blows, with the second dropping Yarde to his knees, solidifying his win. Number 2, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. After days and months of trash-talking between the two, the fight was finally scheduled to take place in April. And let me tell you, the fans were not disappointed. Many fans of Garcia were sure that the young talent was in over his head trying to match up with one of the current stars of the ring. The fans would be proven right as Davis would drop Garcia in the 7th round. Garcia would start strong, making advances, throwing several jabs, and even landing a combo in the first few rounds, with Davis only throwing a few spare punches.
And of course, against the orthodox fighter is a southpaw. You fake going downstairs, go ups, and right now it's neutral.
It's really neutral. No one really trying to put their foot outside.
Power punches landed in the first 3 minutes.
Ooh.
Garcia would take the lead in the 2nd round with his aggressiveness, throwing some sharp rights to Davis's face.
In that first round, Garcia putting the pressure on Davis, landing the right and left. Punches landed in the first 3 minutes. And the fan bases.
This is exactly what...
But Garcia's fatal flaws would start to show, the first of which was his weak chin guard, which would cause him to drop to the ground after receiving a counter right from Davis.
Looking at the referee, you got to protect yourselves at all times.
And he's just beneath that left hook.
What a shot!
Davis would be leading on the scorecards from round 1, and he would take home the win when he connected a beautiful left to Garcia's ribs in the 7th round, causing him to lose the wind in his body and collapse. He would not beat the count.
Davis just stopped Ryan Garcia.
A perfect historical reference that applies here. And
Number 1, Naoya Inoue versus Fulton Jr. As fast and strong as Naoya Inoue is, this fight was meant to pose a challenge for him, and it absolutely did not. Inoue's absolute domination of the unified champion was one for the books. It solidified him as one of the best in his weight category. Everyone, including the fans, was surprised at the ease at which Inoue was able to unravel Fulton. He toyed with him from the start of round 1 with his insane speed and power.
Versatile offensive attack, as always, from Inoue. Now goes upstairs with it and follows Fulton back to the ropes before the tie-up and the separation from Hector.
Fulton never seemed to be able to use his reach to support himself, as Inoue just chased him down and closed the distance to his favor. Fulton never got a moment to breathe from round 2 onwards because of his Inoue's relentless onslaught.
Fulton, right back to it.
There it is again.
And there's the first right hand that is able to land, and he comes with it again, and then a 4-punch combination that included a left to the body.
Would try and mount some sort of offense moving into round 3, and Inoue would acknowledge this move by giving Fulton a bloody nose by the end of the round.
And two-handed finishing power. Uppercut, right uppercut to close out round number 3.
Inoue's reflexes and footwork just outpaced Fulton at every instance. He either closed the distance, chased Fulton down, or counterpunched everything thrown at him. It was clear from round 1 who would win.
That comes with a certain risk to be more offensive-minded against the monster. As he does for a moment, does Fulton, then backs out with his hands up.
Fulton tried to hold his own, but it would be in vain. Inoue decided it was time to end the fight and finished off Fulton with a right-hand left hook combo in round 8, granting a decisive win for Inoue against the unified champion. Woo.
More belts as Fulton tried to grab the ropes, backed up into the corner. Here comes Inoue. That destructive, decisive power doesn't...
What energy! 2023 has just provided fight after fight that just kept getting better and better. Truly a revival year for the sport. And with 2024 lined up with more of the same fighters like Beterbiev and Inoue, and many more new and old faces, we can say assuredly that the next year is going to be good, if not better than this year. So before we wrap up and step into the new year, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for your recommendations to be filled with only the best boxing content.